Okay, this is the third part of processing a contract. Earlier I had spoke about what side we would be representing, whether it was the listing side or the buying agent side, the buyer side, and they're called listing agents. I'm sorry, a listing agent or a selling agent. I'm sorry, getting confused. And that we could represent both. If we're representing the listing agent, you only need to fill out one form of the FMLS and MLS forms, and that is this FMLS 118 form. If we are on the sales agent side, we're representing the buyer, we're going to have to do all three of these forms up here. There's the MLS sheet, looks like this. There's the FMLS 117. This is notice that we've got a contract, and FMLS 118, and this should be notice of sale, I think is what it's called. Notice of closing. MLS has both those things, like it's kind of letting those two systems know that, hey, we've got a contract and it's binding, and hey, we're going to close and this is the day. MLS has it on just one sheet, and we fill it out all at one time. Here it is that, hey, we got it under contract, and here's our contract information, and here we're going to sell it, and it's going to be sold on this date. So it's just all in one. Again, like I said, if we are representing the listing, we only have to fill out the 118 form. If you're representing the selling agent, you have to do all three of these. So this part is just going to be filling out the first two. We're going to, on this one, pretend like we are representing the buyer or the selling agent, I'm sorry. And we're going to fill out these first two forms. The next video, I'll fill out the last three. And then I'm going to show you how to upload it into eEdge. So we'll start out with the MLS sheet that we're on. And you're going to put in today's date, the date you're filling it out. And here's where we want that MLS number that we went and found earlier. And if you didn't write it down, you're going to have it in your spreadsheet. I wrote mine down here on a piece of paper. And our property, again, you can go back to the spreadsheet. I'm pretty sure I remember, or even the contract. Drive, it is in Gainesville. I think Summer Creek is in, I think here I have the contract here. It is 30507. All this information over here on the right hand side, you're just going to leave alone. It'll stay the same every time. Excuse me. As well as right here, you're just going to leave this here. This is if we're representing the listing agent, we don't have to fill this out, but that's kind of a contradiction, isn't it? I'm used to filling these out with every one of them. I do it anyway, but we don't need to if we're representing the seller, if we're the listing agent. So, read Browns as the current owner. They're the seller. I'm just going to fill it out. Okay, off the market date. The date of off the market would be the binding agreement date. And if we look back at our spreadsheet here, the binding agreement date was the 24th. And then we're going to need the selling broker code, the selling broker ID, and we know we'll come back to those. Let's do the due diligence. This was a brand new contract or a new construction, so we had no due diligence, and we're just going to fill that out the same with the binding agreement date. Otherwise, you can refer to your spreadsheet again with a due diligence date. The projected close date, they had a closing date of 7/11. So we're going to fill that out here. Now, how do we get the seller broken code and their ID? The ID, I'm not sure if it's labeled there. There is a way to go into MLS or FMLS and find that, but we're not going to spend that much time on it. It's really not worth it. But on the contract, I keep forgetting we're right there. On the last page where everybody signed, here's where the information can be found. Now it's wanting the selling agent's information, selling broker, if you see that word, the selling side. Here's that code, MLS office code, and it looks like it's PRIV01. PRIV01. So we are going to put that in here. I like to keep it all caps. Now for the selling agent's ID, there's probably is a specific ID. I use their first name first. Last name first, then what you can get in with first name. So her name is Vanita Masters. So we're going to type in Masters and then what we can get in of Vanita. It's going to be close enough. Most of them are like that. Again, I keep it capitalized. Masters. And so we'll just do that much because I want it to always showing. That's how you fill up that portion. Now we're going to do the second side of it, which is changed to sold. And it was the sales price. We have $134.9. Seller's contribution to closing, $3,000. And see, if I had this sitting here, I wouldn't have to scroll back and forth. So that's why I print mine out and keep them in front of me. And the financial code. Here's where you get the financial codes. Ours, financial is how are they paying for this? They are getting an FHA loan, so we are going to use FHA. Let me go down here, number 5, and say, well, all right. And that is all for that one. Pretty simple. Once you're done with this, you're going to do the print. And you're going to save it into the folder that I send to you, or create a folder with the street name being the name of the folder. This may take a second. Come on. Nitro's not responding. There we go. Okay, cute PDF. I apologize for this taking so long. I was more handy with the software. I might be able to pause this and come back, but come on, there it is. And this is what my Dropbox looks like. This is going to be under Shannon. This is under contract. Summer 89. Contract information, and just leave it MLS sheet. The FMLS sheets are going to be named FMLS 118. Just leave that as the name. Just hit save. So we got that one done. We're going to move on to FMLS 117. And all your forms should look like forms. Alright, should look like this. So this one's notice under contract. We're going to need our FMLS number that we retrieved earlier. bit like that. And we put in the property address. Oops, I'm still careful. It's probably already going to be marked pending. Just leave that there. We're going to need our binding agreement date, which I believe was the 24th. And then our proposed closing date. And if I remember correctly. And if you forget, you can always go back and look at the spreadsheet. That's why it's there. Again, this is where you're going to have to find those codes off of the contract. We know with our Shannon as our listing agent. Oh, hate when I do that. Shannon's our listing agent, and this is her code, KWRH01. And again, this was Benito Masters, and that is her code PRIV01. And if you want to write those around that spreadsheet or write it down, remember again, I've obviously done one for Shannon recently, so it's still in there. Okay. And then you will just leave that how it is, but put in today's date here. And just leave it that it's from me. Depending on who we're representing, maybe check that. It doesn't really matter. Change that date. And that's all you do for that form. FMLS 117, very easy as well. We go up here and say we're going to print, keep PDF. And we're going to leave it at FMLS 117. I'm pretty sure we're in the right place. Save. So that's all you need to know for those two forms. Now these two forms we only have to fill out if we're representing the selling agent. The selling agent represents the buyer. If we're not on that side, we don't have to do that. I didn't have to do these for this contract, but I'm doing them just for the sake of showing you. So that might get confusing. If you have any questions, again, feel free to ask. Thank you.